So my sister and I have this thing that we do where I'll watch a show that she doesn't want to watch and then I will tell her about the show. I just recently watched season 3 of From and she said that other people might be interested in hearing how I tell the story. Fair warning, I only say like 3 names. So I will give references to who I'm talking about. So let's get on to the ignorance.
Alright, so dang, bro. This just episode 1 of season 3, bro. Dang. Okay, so remember at the end of season 2, Boyd, the sheriff, he stopped the RV daughter, the crazy guy off the bus, and the other lady off the bus. He stopped. He woke them up because they was gonna die. Right? He broke the music box and woke them up. Okay. And also, RV mom got pushed out the lighthouse by the little boy, and she got teleported out of the place or whatever. So this episode, right? Season 3 starts off with on the mom who got teleported. She got out. So we're with her. We start off with her in the hospital, right? She leaves the hospital before the police can come and talk to her, and she's just like wandering around the city because she don't know what to do, where to go, or how to get back to save her family or nothing like that, because well, there's no way back, just like there's really no way out. And if you figure out that there's a way out, you can't tell other people because you can't get back. So she's wandering around. She decides to call her mom. She borrows someone's phone and she calls her mom. And her mom is just like, where have y'all been? The police are looking for y'all. Talk to this detective. Don't get off the phone. And she's just like, I gotta go. We're fine. We're okay. Don't be scared. And she hangs up. Then she goes to a church. She starts doing a confessional with the priest. And the priest is trying to talk to her, but the words coming out of her mouth make her sound like she's crazy, or she's delusional from grief, right? Because remember, her their baby died. Their baby, when their youngest son, when he was a baby, he fell off the changing table and he ended up dying. So the priest thinks that she's still going through grief from that. So the priest is just like trying to get her to talk about where the place where she came from and the bad place where she's holding Victor's lunchbox. So he starts asking her questions about Victor because he probably, I don't know, he probably thinking Victor not real or something, or her and Victor was in an insane asylum or something. But she starts talking about Victor, and then she opens his lunchbox and she sees his address inside the lunchbox. Crazy thing is, she's in the exact city that Victor is from. The lighthouse, when she fell out the lighthouse, she got sent to that exact city that Victor was born in. The city he was living in when his mom, and his sister got teleported into the bad place. So she goes to Victor's house. Well, she goes to the addresses that's in his lunchbox. And she gets to the house. And his daddy still lives there. And his dad recognizes the lunchbox. And she instantly is like, oh my God, you're his father. And his daddy just keep asking her the same thing. Where you get that lunchbox? Where did you get that lunchbox? Right? Then we leave her, okay? We go back to, the city with all the crazy stuff going on, right? So first off, remember the sheriff's son and his now wife is pregnant, right? his wife, who couldn't have kids, is now pregnant. Like, she was never supposed to be able to have kids. She's now pregnant, right? Okay. Now, remember in season 2 when they was trying to build a radio tower so they could get some like signal and stuff, and they can talk to people outside of that place, and the storm came in because the place created a storm, and a storm blew in. So the storm that knocked the radio tower out, it also destroyed half of their crops because they had to grow their own food, right? It destroyed half the crops. They decided they was gonna go and they was gonna try and dig up the rest of the crops. They was gonna harvest all the crops that were left. As soon as they went to go harvest them, the crops were rotten because the place poisoned the soil and rotted all the crops. So now they ain't got no food. The only food they got is the food that the Chinese woman prepped, because she preps. So the house that the sheriff's son lives in with like all the people or whatever, that house, they grow all the crops. The Chinese lady, she runs the diner in town, and she uses those crops, and she preserves as much of it as she can, so like they always have food, right? So she had a storage full of preserved food because she cans all of it and she preps it all, and she like uses it to cook and all of that stuff. And they also got animals too, so they use like the eggs and the milk and stuff so they can make food and all the crops and stuff. So she does all the cooking, and so she has all the food, right? So with all the crops being dead, everybody ran to her house, ransacked this, took all the food all the rations and stuff that she had in her house already prepped. She took it all because that's all the food they had. So they took it all. So now there's no food because not everybody, but the few people who did go in there, they took everything. They took literally everything out her storage room. And so now they ain't got no food. All they got are the animals. And so they are making a plan to start slowly killing the animals to be able to feed everybody while they try and grow more crops in a different place with different soil. Now, they're discussing doing that. RV dad, and then also Ethan, the son. Ethan ran away to try to find his mama because he like, we gotta go find her to make sure she's okay. And RV dad is just like, and also like the sister is like, because she just got woken up and saved because she was seeing some stuff. Baby girl was going through some things, right? Because she almost died. So she not talking. So she still in her own little world. And the dad, he is trying to get her to talk while also trying to handle the fact that his wife is now missing and his son just tried to run away. Victor told that the boy ran away to try to find his mama. So of course they all was looking for the boy. They found him, of course. So then RV dad was like, I'm gonna go look for her myself. So my son not out here trying to find his mama in the middle of the woods by himself. So he's prepping to go do that. The sheriff's deputy, the Chinese guy or whatever, he was like, I'm gonna go with him. So him and RV dad, they go into the woods, and they in the woods. The sheriff tells them, go to the little hut that I found all of the talisman in, and use that as your like waypoint. So like, go out as far as you can from past that, but before it gets dark, go straight back to that place, because when we tried to camp out there, the woods literally blew our tent away or whatever. And so to try and kill us, it blew our tent away. So just go back to the hut or whatever. So they're walking, they pass the hut, of course, but they go in a different direction than where they're supposed to be going, because he told them which direction to go in. They went a different direction and not knowing, and they ended up stumbling upon a bunch of statues that's made like of twigs and heads with hair. I don't know if these are skulls. They don't look like skulls, but they look like skulls. And so they follow it, and then they find these cabins. Like, it's like a bunch of cabins, like it was a town out there or something, right? And they decide, well, RV dad decides that they should probably just stay in those cabins because they look sturdy and they don't look like they can be blown away by some wind or whatever. So they stay in those cabins, right? And it's nightfall, okay? It's like literally the night falls. When nighttime comes, all right, you know the monsters come out at night. They literally, right before the night fell, everybody in town had just decided, well, not everybody in town, but the three main people, like, who are in charge in town, so like the sheriff, the lady who runs the plantation house place, and the lady who had all the food, they come up with a plan to start slowly killing the animals. And then when the night comes, let me tell you what these monsters do. The monsters, they let all the animals out. Because the monsters ain't stupid. They smart. Like, and they can talk. So they let all the monsters out. Not all the monsters. They let all the animals out. So they let the cows out. They let the goats out. The sheep. Everything is just out running the streets, right? So when the sheriff sees the animals outside, he runs outside to try to get the animals back in the barn. And then because Victor, the Chinese lady, and the two RV kids, they in the house together. So they're all in the house together, and when the Chinese lady and Victor see that the animals are out, they go out to help the sheriff and the rich guy, because the rich guy, he had some stuff going on, okay? That man, after he went down underground and saw some stuff, this man has been going crazy trying to figure out everything, trying to figure out symbols and what they mean and stuff like that. So he literally getting drunk, going crazy, okay? So he was locked up inside the police station. So he was already with the sheriff, and he was helping the sheriff try to get the animals back. So Chinese lady and Victor try to go and help the nigga in the bus, the nigga who they forced to live in the bus because he's absolutely deranged. He helps them so they don't get eaten instantly, because he sees them out there trying to wrangle up the animals, and so he starts honking the horn because he sees the monsters coming up behind them. And so he helping them, right? Then listen, Linda, because Ethan made me mad, because Ethan is fully aware, don't you open that door, because they left Ethan and his sister in the house alone. They ain't supposed to open them doors. Ethan know they ain't supposed to open them doggone doors. Ethan is fully aware. Ethan opened that doggone door because he saw the goat that he claimed as his friend walking down the street, and he wanted to go get it. A monster standing on the doorstep in front of the door, and they instantly gotta leave the house. Now, they running away, okay? Sarah, who I thought was dead, saves them. I thought Sarah died. Sarah pops up out of freaking nowhere and saves Ethan and his sister, and they hiding behind the house in the trees. Then they see another one coming, so they go running, and then they run straight to the bus, because the guy on the bus, he sees them and he opens the door instantly and like, come on, get in. So they all on the bus watching everything go down. They see the monsters walk up on the rich guy. And the monster literally, because the rich guy was using the cow as a shield to keep the monsters away from him, the monster snatches the esophagus out of the freaking cow. Victor has to save this nigga because this nigga standing here in shock. So Victor runs over there and saves him and gets him to run away. So that leaves, and then they run off, try to take all the animals that they can, the smaller animals that they can, and they run into the barn, like inside of the building next to the barn. They get inside. The Chinese lady tries to go and help the sheriff because the cow he was leading not moving. So she tries to go help him. Girl, this part broke me. Listen. They get the cow in the barn because the barn been open this whole time. I'm instantly thinking while they are getting this cow in the barn, I'm just like, there's monsters in this doggone barn waiting for y'all. I just know it is. They get in the barn. They lock the door. They put the talisman up. Bro. There's monsters in the barn. Not just like one or two. Girl, there's 6 of them. 6. A whole group in the barn. A whole group of them. Just waiting because they knew. So one of them starts talking and was like, Boyd, didn't you say this place can't break you? Because, Boyd is the sheriff. Okay? They're just like, didn't you say this place can't break you? Let's see if it can't break you. So they grab him and they grab the Chinese lady. They take his handcuffs and handcuff him to a pillar inside the barn. They take her, put her in a chair, and the sheriff just like, don't hurt me, let her go. Don't hurt her, let her go. Just hurt me, kill me, don't kill her. And the monster literally was like, no, we're not gonna kill you. Where's the fun in that? They pull her hair so hard that the back of her scalp comes off, and it is literally hanging. Okay, it's hanging. They kill this woman, torture and kill this woman in front of the sheriff. Her son is out in the woods. Him and RV dad literally just had a conversation, and RV dad was like, we going back home in the morning because my kids, nothing can happen to me while I'm out here because my kids need one of their parents. They need one of us. And that's why my wife went out by herself, because she knew our kids were going to need one of us. So he was like, we're just gonna go home as soon as the morning comes. That man about to go home and find out that his mother had a worse death than his father, because his father, when they killed his father, they wasn't doing it for the pleasure of torturing another person by killing him. So his father had a quicker death. That man's mother was their play toy to torture the sheriff. So she had a much worse death than his father. And that man finna come home and learn that that's how his mama died. He is going to lose his mind, okay? He's going to lose his mind, all right? Also, it's okay for them to go to sleep now. They can go to sleep again. It's fine now. sleeping won't kill them, except for the guy, baby boy, who was on the bus, who almost drowned in his doggone sleep. He can't go to sleep because every time he goes to sleep, the lady who pushed him, like who tried to drown him in his dream, she keeps coming back. Whatever was killing these niggas in their sleep is still trying to kill him specifically in his sleep. So he can't sleep, but everybody else can. But the Chinese lady, I can't handle the fact that she just got killed. I cannot handle that. Like, I can't handle it because that lady ain't do nothing wrong. She ain't do nothing wrong. If anybody, and I do mean if anybody should have died, it should have been the rich nigga. Honestly, y'all could have left that Chinese lady alone, bro. Y'all could have left her alone. If they kill Victor, I'm gonna feel the same way because I don't want Victor dead either. Like, bro, I was attached to that lady. I was attached. Alright, so episode 2, right? So the Chinese lady, she dead. Her son still in the woods. The sheriff still handcuffed to a pillar in front of her dead body. Okay? He's still alive, by the way. The next day, oh, and RB mama, she's still at Victor daddy house. Okay? So the next day, because the barn is right next to the bar, the rich guy and Victor were inside the bar when the Chinese lady got killed. So they had just kept sitting there because they of course that night they heard her screams. So they just kept sitting there that morning because they just couldn't bring themselves to leave, right? So the rich guy finally was like, I gotta go check. I gotta go see if, like, they are okay, right? So he goes to the barn. He unties the sheriff. Well, he sees the Chinese lady dead and sees the sheriff just chanting on the floor. He's chanting whatever a phrase. It's not a phrase, but a sentence that the Chinese lady said in Cantonese. He's chanting it while just sitting on the floor because he's still tied up. So he unties him, and as soon as he gets free, he goes and he grabs the Chinese lady and starts apologizing and crying because this man is traumatized. Okay, so they take her to the church, and the rich guy, he just stays with her. He just stays with her until it's time for her funeral. He stays, him and the doctor, because when the son gets back, because right before RV dad and the son start heading back to, well, the deputy start heading back to the town or whatever, they end up, well, RV dad, he gets up early and he finds a lake. And right next to the lake, because remember, they ain't got no food in town, right next to the lake is a bunch of food all around the lake. There's a bunch of different crops just growing all around the lake. Like, all around it. Tons of food. And so they grab a bunch of the food and they head back. And when they get back, the deputy finds out his mama got killed. Bro, he can't handle this because remember, his daddy had just got killed and his daddy had Alzheimer's, right? Now his mama just got killed and he didn't talk to the sheriff, so he doesn't know how his mom died, because the person who talks to him is the doctor, because him and the doctor, but before the doctor fiance showed up, him and the doctor was about to start dating because he had a crush on her, and she didn't think she would ever leave. She thought she was gonna die there, right? So they was about to start dating, like right when they was about to, like, you know, get together, her fiance showed up. Okay, but anyway, the doctor is the only person he talked to. Okay, then when he asked her, because he was like, when he saw his dad in the hospital after he got killed, like, now all he remembers is what his dad looked like, what his dad's body looked like when he found him. So he said, I don't want to remember my mom that way, so could you make her look like herself? And so the doctor and the rich guy, they cleaned her up and sewed up her body as best they could. And Sarah, because Sarah used to work at the diner with her, and so Sarah, they used to play dress up, and so Sarah brought the dress that she wanted to wear home, because she always said that when they left, she would wear that dress because it was her favorite dress. So Sarah brought the dress for them to put her in. So they cleaned her up and got her dressed and everything. And while they were doing that, the deputy, he was getting liquor because they still got a lot of liquor left over, because the guy who used to like take care of the bar and stuff, he had a lot made. He dead now, like he died a while ago, but he had a lot made, so they still have some. And so the deputy was getting jugs of alcohol, because he said, I'm going down to the tunnels where the monsters sleep, and I'm going to burn all of them. I'm going to burn them alive. The sheriff was like, I'll go with you. Let's do it. Let's do it. Because the sheriff is tired. He's tired. He's traumatized. They tied him up and killed her in front of him. Then the deputy said something about his mom being alone and being scared, and the sheriff was just like, she wasn't alone. They made me watch. That baby broke down. That baby broke down. Okay? You hear me? He broke all the way down. He was like, I couldn't do anything. I literally could not help her. They made me watch. They made me watch. And then he, of course, did that because the man black. He did that black people thing where they try to. But she was strong though. She looked at me the whole time. She was strong. Then he told him whatever, like, she kept saying right before she died, and she said, and then of course the son broke down even more, and then he was like, it means take care of him. He's going to be alone now. And baby just, my heart, he done lost both his parents in this doggone place. Who child? So they preparing. They had her funeral, and the sheriff, of course, is just like, the sheriff now wants to capture one of the monsters, because he's tired. They tortured that man by torturing and killing that lady in front of him. They killed his wife. They did so much. Like, they just been playing mind games with him specifically. They are playing like some crazy mind games with this man. So he is tired. Okay, and so that's what happened. That was what happened with, like, that part. Okay. Also, the sheriff's son. Remember the sheriff's son? Because I brought it up in the last one, but I forgot to say in the last, like, voice memo or whatever, I forgot to say that the sheriff's son's wife, I forgot to say it, but because she's pregnant, remember? And so she has really, really, really bad morning sickness. She just can't eat nothing, and no matter what, her morning sickness is horrible. Like, it's so bad. She hasn't eaten in 4 days, and her teeth starting to fall out because she's so malnourished. So the doctor's fiance is a nurse, so she had gave her some medicine to try and help her with the morning sickness, so that she can be able to eat something. But before baby girl could even try to take the medicine, because she told her husband to leave, and that all she needed to do was just get up to the room and lay down. So he leaves her. He tells her, go get some rest, take your medicine, and try to eat something later, right? He leaves her. As soon as he leaves her, she starts smelling something. Guess what this heifer starts smelling? Them doggone rotten crops, because they kept the rotten crops and they all on the porch, because they was like, we can use it for composting. Since we can't eat it, we might as well use it for composting, okay? So they trying to use it. They're trying to figure out if they can compost it or whatever. She starts sniffing them, and then she starts eating the rotten crops. Bro, whatever she's pregnant with, it ain't a baby, okay? You hear me? It ain't a baby. Alright? Alright. Now, Victor also ran off, because after the Chinese lady got killed, Victor ran off. Like, fully ran off. He said, I can't do this. People die here. I can't do this. Because remember, Victor grew up there. Victor raised himself in that doggone place. That poor baby. So, Victor ran off. Because that's really all he know. He know how to hide pretty well. He been doing it for like 30 years. So Victor gone, okay? Now, in the real world, RV mama and Victor daddy got a whole gun pointed at her. He just like, tell me why you here, how you get my son lunchbox and all of that. She starts telling him, and he just like, you know what, stop talking. You can tell the cops. And she said, please don't call the cops. I cannot go to jail. Well, I can't talk to the cops because I can't tell them who I am. Because they're not going to believe me if I tell them what happened to me. So, he just like, well, I already called them. They on their way already. So, we're just going to sit here and wait for them to show up. She starts telling him, I can prove that, like, I'm not lying. So, she starts giving him a list of people names to look up, because they have missing persons reports on these people. He was like, that don't mean you telling the truth. Then she started telling him about the tower and the kids, and that's how she got there. And he instantly just like gets shook, right? So he tells the cops, when the cops show up, that he was wrong, nobody was intruding or whatever. He missaw and blah 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 blah. Sent him away. Fed her, and then they started having a conversation. So his wife, Victor mama, him and his wife, they used to be hippies, okay? They used to be hippies, and they used to do like the drugs and all of that stuff. And when she got pregnant with Victor, they stopped. All right, they stopped doing drugs. They got clean for their kids. And then on his 35th birthday, she was like, let's go down memory lane. Let's do a little, let's do a little acid. So they do. So, yeah, they did their little acid on his 35th birthday. They sent the kids to his mama's house, did their little acid. Right after they did the acid, his wife started hearing voices in her head. These voices started telling her about these two children. Because before Victor, his mama, and his sister got teleported to the place, his mama started having visions about the place and the people in the place and the children. She started having visions about the place, and she started hearing voices telling her about the place. So she started telling her husband about the place and what she was hearing. Then she started painting pictures. Okay? She started painting pictures. And then she was like, I'm the chosen one. I've been chosen to save the kids. Because it's a place where people can't go. It's a place that's everywhere. And you can get there from anywhere. But you can never find it if you're looking for it. And you can never leave the place. But I'm chosen to go and save those kids. So He thought she was just crazy. Until RV Mama shows up talking about she went to a tower to save some kids. Then he shows her the basement full of paintings that his wife painted. And guess what she finds? A painting of them doggone kids. A painting of them kids. A painting of the little boy in white. A painting of the diner. A painting of the Confederate soldier. A painting of everything. Everything. She sees it all. And the husband was like telling her everything that that his wife had said about the place. And he was like, she's not the first. She said she wasn't the first person who was chosen to save the kids. But no one ever succeeded because they never were able to leave the place. And then he was like, so if what she said is true and you were able to leave the place, how were you able to leave? Because you probably are the new chosen one. So how were you able to leave? Listen, I think she finna figure out a way to get back. I think she about to figure out how to get back to that place. That's what I think is gonna happen. I don't think she should, but I get it, because your family and your kids, your husband and your kids still out there. But I think she about to find a way to get back over there. She about to figure it out. And then she about to tell all of them how to get out of there. Okay? But also, right before the episode ended, the husband was in the house by himself. Because you know the place ain't got no power. It ain't got no power. Ain't no phone calls. Okay? Ain't no phone calls. The phone start ringing. Okay? The phone on the wall start ringing. The landline, sis, the landline. He pick it up. Guess who on the phone? His dead son. The problem with that, it literally was like, hey, Dad, it's Thomas. The problem with that, Thomas was a whole 5-month-old baby when he died. Thomas couldn't talk. And Thomas calling the phone to talk to this man. Whatever. I just know whatever happened next, it's about to be some mess. I knew it was going to be some mess season 3. But I had to watch it because season 4 come out in April. So we in this now. Bro, listen, okay? Listen. I'm going to start off. This is just episode 3, okay? So I'm going to start off with everything else, and then I'm going to tell you about RV Mom and Victor Daddy, okay? Now, first off, a group of them went out to the woods to go grab more crops and stuff, get more food for everybody. And while they was out there, rich guy, he went out there too. He was one of the people who got sent out there, and he saw something. He saw a man with a nail stabbed through his eye attached to a tree. It was a vision. He wasn't really there. And he was trying to leave. The doctor tried to follow him to stop him, and she stepped into a bear trap. So he ended up having to stay in the woods anyway, because he was trying to leave the woods and go back to town. But he ended up having to stay in the woods because he stayed to free her out of the bear trap. Okay? Now, whatever is going on out there in them woods with them statues and them cabins, it's important some kind of way, because to get her out of the bear trap, they had to destroy one of the statues, and that's gonna cause some problems. I just know it. I'm seeing it already. So that's what's happening over there. The sheriff is literally preparing traps and stuff so that he can catch one of the monsters. His goal is to lure one of them into an empty house and put a talisman outside the door to lock it inside. I don't know why he think that's gonna work. He put a talisman inside the barn when him and the Chinese lady went inside the barn, and they was already in there, and they still left the barn. I don't know why he thinks he can trap them, but hey, he gonna try. Pregnant lady, she got caught eating rotten crops by the old lady off the bus. The old lady off the bus got cancer, okay? And she a little eccentric. She caught her eating the rotten crops, and then like was talking to her, trying to tell her that it's normal to have weird cravings and eat weird things when you're pregnant, and it'll go away eventually, blah blah blah. Then she was like, I'm scared. How do I know if my baby's okay? I was never even supposed to have a baby, right? So the lady said, we can find out right now. She pulls out doggone tarot cards, and this girl goes off. She's just like, because she don't believe in tarot cards, and she thinking this lady is absolutely done lost her mind. So the lady convinces her, because she just like, I was literally just trying to share something that was important to me with you with the tarot cards and trying to help you out, and you call me wackadoo or whatever. She eventually agrees to the tarot reading, and the lady like does all the cards, has her shuffle the cards, and all of this. Like she goes through all of it, even explains to her like how she got into tarot and why she believes it and how she started understanding it and all of that stuff, right? She tells her, like, she picks the card, then she tells her, ask the cards a question. Okay? She asks if her baby is okay. I kid you not. When the lady goes to lift the first card, a crow hits the window. Then when she goes to lift the second card, the crow bursts through the window and commits suicide because it flies straight into a lamp and then flies straight into the wall. I told you that lady is pregnant with a demon. She is not pregnant with a child. That is a whole demon, okay? So that's what's going on with pregnant lady. She got some stuff happening over there. Ethan, his sister, and Arby dad, listen, Ethan has become morbid, like extremely morbid, okay? The boy is walking around asking questions about, so who gonna bury my mama, because they assume she dead, because in the first episode it had been 4 days. She had been missing for 4 days already, so they just assume at this point she dead because she never came back. Nobody could go far enough out to find her body, so they just assumed she was dead, right? So he was like, so what are we gonna do? Like, he literally asking his dad this in the middle of the afternoon. So we just gonna leave her body out there? What if somebody finds it for the bugs and stuff and the spiders to get her body? Then he said, what if somebody doesn't know who she is because she's just a skeleton? The daddy flips out. This boy runs out the doggone house. He is traumatized again because one, his mama dead, or he think his mama dead. Then the Chinese lady that he used to hang out with all the time, she's dead. Victor don't want to hang out with him right now because Victor just like, you don't want to listen to me when I tell you this place is bad. This is a bad place. It gets people killed. And I'm just like, oh my freaking gosh, right? Like, this baby is going through it. He's going through it, okay? He goes to the diner and starts washing dishes. This boy is in the diner cleaning because he was like, the Chinese lady would have liked for it to be clean. So he's just in there cleaning. This boy gotta be like 8 and he's in here washing dishes. One of the black women, the bus driver, she was a black woman. She goes in there because she was looking for a pot. She was trying to borrow a pot from the diner or whatever, and she sees him cleaning, so she starts helping him and telling him how to properly do it and stuff like that. And listen, one thing I'm gonna say is there's another black lady. There's 2 black women so far that I've seen. One of the black women, she got box braids. She was the bus driver. There's another black woman. I don't remember if she was on the bus or if she was there already. But baby got a whole bust down. Baby girl got a whole sew in. And I'm talking leave out laid. Flat to the scalp sew in. Okay? Okay? I'm sitting here looking and watching because she was one of the ones who was like getting the crops in the woods. I'm sitting here just like, it dawns on me, who did your hair? Because there's no electricity. You can't plug in a flat iron or none of that. Who did your hair? I know you ain't got no hot comb. How your hair laid like this? What you do? How you do that? Cause girl, you should be out here with some doggone cornrows. Not no doggone sew in. Even the lady with the box braids, at this point with how long she been there, her box braids should be grown out. Them box braids are fresh sets of box braids. How you do that? How you do that? That should be grown out. Not on their last leg grown out, but at least a little bit. That should be a little fuzzy. They not fuzzy. How you do that? Alright, cool. But so that also happened, right? What else happened? Oh, Victor. Because at some point in time, I don't know when they did this because it didn't happen in last season and it didn't happen in this season, but they gave Sarah a house. I guess after people started like dying in their sleep, they gave Sarah a house. Again, I thought Sarah was dead because Sarah just disappeared. But apparently they gave Sarah a house and she just been living in a house or whatever. Victor goes to Sarah's house for whatever reason. Maybe in episode 4 we'll find out. But he goes to Sarah's house and with a doggone suitcase and plans to do stuff, right? We don't know what happened there because it leaves off there. It leaves off with him talking about, we need to make a fort because I have to tell a story. And I'm just like, nigga, what? It leaves it there. We don't know what else happened with that situation yet. So that's that. Now, so RV Mama and Victor Daddy. Because when I told you RV Mama was gonna find a way to make it back to that doggone place, she found a way to make it back to that place. And it wasn't the way she thought it would be. It didn't go the way she thought it would. Because this is what happened, right? So she spent the whole night in the basement looking at the pictures. And he was just like, you need to go to sleep. You need to get some sleep because you can't keep going like this. You need to sleep. And she was like, no, I'm fine. I'm okay. Then she finds out that they have a bottle tree in their backyard because she hears the bottles chiming or whatever, like hitting against each other or whatever. And the bottle tree is, of course, significant because the bottle tree is the tree that she went into to get to the tower that was the lighthouse that she ended up pushed out of, right? So she goes out there looking around the tree because she's thinking maybe there's an opening in the tree. No, it's just a regular tree with no opening, okay? So then he tells her that his wife did installations, like a lot of installations everywhere, and the bottle tree was one of her favorites, so she recreated it in their backyard. But the original was in the park. So she was like, take me to the park. I need to see the bottle tree. This man was like, you need to get some sleep first. She said, no. Take me to the park. So they are on their way to the park. The park is like 30-40 minutes away from his house. They're on the way to the park. She goes into the glove compartment because she starts feeling like car sick, and he tells her there's some crackers in there. She opens it and she sees the bracelet that she made her husband. Because remember, she made her husband a bracelet years ago, and he lost the bracelet. She found the bracelet in the diner in the place. Then she's now sitting in Victor Daddy's car and finds the bracelet in Victor Daddy's car. And Victor Daddy said his grandpa made the bracelet for him when he was a kid. She's just like, no, I made this for my husband years ago and he lost it. Then I found it in that place, and now it's here. So she starts freaking out. She said, what is this? I never did leave that place, did I? I went through a magic tree. I fell out of a lighthouse and ended up in a hospital. I'm not really in Maine, am I? Like, she was freaking out. She said, this is not real. You messed up because you put this bracelet here. That's where you messed up. And she is literally just like, this is my punishment. This place is punishing me. This place is playing games with me because I'm not really out of that place, am I? I'm still there. I'm still a part of it. She wasn't. Like, genuinely, she was out of that place. The bracelet situation was just one of those situations where it might have just been a very similar thing, or who knows, really. Who knows what was going on with that bracelet? Because, baby, I don't understand. But she was not inside the place no more. At all. She was out. Because she tells him, pull over. And she's trying to get out the car. And he's just like, you can't do that. You can't just show up at my house, tell me my son's still alive, give me all this hope, and then just randomly decide you're done and you don't want to deal with it no more. And so he was trying to get her to get back in the car. He grabs her, stops her from opening up the car door, and also starts driving at the exact same time. They get in a car accident because this man is trying to force this lady to go to the park, because at this point the park is literally down the street. So he's just like, you're going to this park, you're looking at this street because you done gave me all this hope that my son alive and I can see my son again, and now you just want nothing to do with it no more. And so they get in a car accident. Okay, she wakes up in the ambulance, he's in the ambulance. Of course, there's paramedics in the ambulance. She's just like, pull over, let me out. I don't want to go to the hospital, okay? They are on their way to the hospital. The hospital down the street, bro. Guess where they end up? At the road with the freaking tree. At the road with the tree. She's back. She's back in that doggone place. She is back in that place again. She's back there. She's at the road again with the tree in the road. And there's no way to stop yourself from ending up in that place. Because once you see the tree, you're already there. You're already there once you see the tree. You turn around, you in that town. You can't go around the tree. You're there now. She's back. Back. They're finna lose their minds because now she thinks that she can't leave and the way she left is not real. She done convinced herself it's not real, so now she's not gonna tell them that she was gone. She got out because she don't think she got out. Oh my God. All right, so listen, I'm only making this one because pregnant lady done lost her doggone mind. So remember, she was eating the rotten crops. Okay, so what happened is RV mom, her and Victor dad, 2 paramedics and 1 police officer are all in a ambulance, and they are on their way to town because, you know, the tree. And it's nighttime. Okay, unfortunately it is nighttime and they are on their way to town. All right, she is telling them, do not stop this ambulance, keep going, just keep going straight, there's a town and there's people in the town who will help us. They would not listen to her. They was like, there is no town, we're not looking for a town, we're trying to get back to the highway. She said, there's a town, there are people who will help us find the highway, just keep going straight until you get to the town. You cannot stop in the nighttime, it is dangerous, you cannot stop. They get to the town, right? Okay, first off, Ethan is in the kitchen by himself and the phone call comes in on the landline yet again, and it's Thomas telling Ethan that their mama is in trouble and she's on an ambulance and she's on her way. So Ethan trying to go outside to go to his to find his mama. He tell his daddy, and of course, his daddy is just like, what? Because they all again thought she was dead. So they get to town. So the ambulance gets to town, right? They keep going. They won't stop, and she's freaking out. She's literally saying, "Stop the ambulance! Stop driving! We need to go. We need to get out. We need to get help from the people in the town. We need to get out, and we need to go in one of these houses. Stop driving! You need to stop. It's dangerous." The police officer would not listen. Okay. Then they get past all the houses. Okay, right before you get to the little plantation house place. Bro, they far enough away to where they can't just run straight to the houses without passing by some of the monsters. It's great, right? There's a monster laying in the street pretending to be a hurt person. And they pull over because, of course, they pull over. They're in an ambulance. They're paramedics. So they're like, let's go save them. She literally is in the back seat. Well, yeah, in the back seat, yelling, pleading for them to not get out because they're going to die. The police officer handcuffs her to the doggone pole inside the ambulance. She handcuffs this woman. Then she proceeds to get out of the ambulance when they start getting killed. When the two paramedics, one gets slashed across the neck, she wants to be like, what's going on? Is everything okay? Then she sees the monster. The lady turned into a monster and literally dig her hand inside the other one's guts. She runs. She starts shooting at the monsters. And then she runs. She leaves that woman and that man in that ambulance and runs away. She runs. She left that woman handcuffed inside the ambulance. She left that man tied to a gurney inside the ambulance and ran off. She ran off. Of course, because they saw the ambulance, they decide, okay, maybe RV mom is on the ambulance. So RV dad, the sheriff, and Randall, because the sheriff and Randall were in the bus because the sheriff is trying to watch the monsters to find out how they move around. So he got on the bus with Randall. Well, he was trying to get Randall off the bus, but Randall said he's staying. So they was watching and waiting. Now the monsters did not come out. They was waiting for hours. The monsters didn't come out until the ambulance showed up. So him and Randall got off the bus because they saw the ambulance. They was trying to stop the ambulance. But as soon as they saw the ambulance, RV dad and Ethan come running out the house because Ethan is running towards the ambulance. And so they have to stop them. They get inside the house because, of course, the monsters are coming out now. And they just and so RV dad is just like, if my wife is in the ambulance, I want to at least check and make sure she's okay or whatever. And so they go outside. They leave Ethan and his sister in the house by themselves. They go outside. They check and they see her. And they instantly shook because where she come from and why is she in this ambulance? How is she in this ambulance? So, but they also just we gotta try to at least save somebody and also get her unhandcuffed because why is she handcuffed? Okay? So then Randall just there's a toolkit on the bus. Randall runs back to the bus. When he gets back, he gets surrounded by monsters and he can't get to the ambulance, so he just throws the toolkit to the sheriff and tells him to just hurry up and get her handcuffed and stuff like that. The sheriff been sitting here trying to find the handcuffed key or whatever because he thinks it's on one of the paramedics. He did not see the police officer run off. He didn't see her run off. So he doesn't even realize that the keys just ran down the road to the plantation house. So once he gets that and he hands it to RV dad to release RV mom, he starts looking for the keys and he's just like, where the keys at? The monster got the keys in her hands and she dangling the keys. She said, here, take the keys. You can't save them all. If you take the keys, we get to keep Randall. Randall is having another vision of cicadas attacking him because that's what happened right before him, RV daughter, and then the other lady, they all like went into their like comatose state where they almost died. When that happened, it was right after they saw cicadas crawling all over them and attacking them and swarming them. So he's on the ground like trying to get the cicadas off of him because he's seeing cicadas. There's no cicadas, but that's what he's seeing. Okay, he gets literally there's monsters standing all around this man, circled all around this man, and so the sheriff takes the keys and he leaves because he can't get to Randall, because if he goes over there he's gonna get caught. If he tries to get Randall, that's gonna get all three of them inside who are still inside the ambulance killed as well as Randall. So he just went ahead and took the keys and left, and he just left Randall there. As soon as he took the keys though, the cicada situation stopped happening to Randall, and Randall like comes back to his senses and he looking around just like, don't you dare leave me here. And he left Randall out there. He couldn't do nothing about it. He left Randall. He gets to the plantation house just to find out that when the cop ran towards the plantation house, she's literally firing into the air. Like, she just shooting, like literally turning in circles and just shooting her gun. She's not aiming at the monsters while she's shooting. She's just shooting in their direction, and she ends up shooting one of the people inside the house. The bullet goes straight through the glass and goes straight through this woman's stomach. She shoots this woman, and by the time she gets inside the house, everybody is like annoyed with her and done with her. And then she sees that she done shot somebody, and she just like, it was an accident. There were monsters everywhere. I didn't mean it, and like doing that cop thing that they be doing. But the lady who she shot ends up dying because they thought that it wasn't as deep of a wound, because the only person who's there is a nurse, a pediatric nurse at that. She don't deal with gunshot wounds. So she didn't know that the lady was bleeding internally. She had no idea. So she like patches her up, and she's no longer bleeding like externally. So she thinks the lady is fine until the lady starts coughing up blood, and then she realizes, oh no, she's not fine. The bullet hit something important, and she's not fine. So she ends up dying. The cop, of course, is even more stressed and feeling bad, and the sheriff don't make it no better because, of course, before the lady died, the sheriff, RV dad, RV mom, and Victor's dad, they all make it inside the house, and they see what happened. Everybody in the house sees that RV mom is still alive, and they just again completely shocked because where she come from and why was she on that ambulance. So the sheriff loses his mind, like absolutely loses his mind, because first off, he just left Randall out there in the middle of the street for the monsters. RV mom just popped up in an ambulance that just showed up in town, and there's a cop who out here just shooting her gun at random and ain't even aiming at nothing, and done killed somebody. So he flips when the lady dies, and he grabs the cop and is tried to force this lady to look at what she did and apologize to the dead body. The man has lost it, okay? The lady who is like over the whole plantation house, she takes him upstairs. She has a whole mental breakdown because people just keep dying left and right. She done been through enough. Baby girl is tired of acting tough, so she just breaks down completely, okay? RB mom and RB dad. RB mom tells him everything that happened, like, to her while she was gone. And she's just like, that's really Victor's dad. Victor's mom really, like, saw this place before she even came here. And I don't know if I messed up by coming back or if that was our only way out. And now we don't have another way out. Bro, this man gonna say something. It's okay because now you're back and you're safe. Nigga, you shouldn't want her back. You should not want her to be back because now she's in danger all over again. What do you mean now you're back and you're safe? But of course, the kids are still in the house, so the kids don't know. The kids can't see anything, so they don't know that their mama is alive. And now they preparing themselves for the off chance that they all they got left because now both their parents dead. Now because they don't know, because they can't go back home yet until the sun come out. So the kids automatically preparing themselves for grief, to be parentless. You feel me? Craziness. Victor and Sarah, they done built a fort in the doggone basement. Victor and Sarah just like, Victor, why are you with me? Why'd you choose me? And he just like, because I want to remember what was going on, because things are different now and something bad is probably happening because it's never snowed here before. Everything's changing and I want to try and remember, but I might see something scary, and why not do it with the scariest person in town? Because everybody's scared of Sarah after what she did. So he just like, Victor logic. Let me just see something scary while I'm next to Sarah. It can't be that bad, right? So they built a fort in the basement, and Victor he tells her what happened the day that his, like, literally the whole town got murdered, and he ended up by himself. And he tells her he wanted to bury everybody, but he couldn't bury everyone because, again, Victor was like 10. He was like 8 or 9 when it happened, and he couldn't bury everybody. So the boy in white told him to just take items that were important to every person who died and just bury those items instead, since he can't bury the bodies, because there were bodies everywhere that you walked, you saw a dead body everywhere, littered everywhere. So imagine this child alone seeing them dead bodies, and them dead bodies stayed in that street for years. He was alone for years with them dead bodies in that doggone street. And he walked around taking items and trinkets off of their dead bodies. He took a watch off somebody's wrist. He took a wallet out somebody's pocket. He was just taking stuff off these people so he could bury their stuff as a way of burying them. So this baby is traumatized in every which way that you can think of. That baby is traumatized, okay? You hear me? It's sad. Poor Victor. And now his daddy there. What Victor gonna do now that he done figured out, now that he done see his daddy? What was gonna happen? Golly. Oh yeah, also, Randall ain't even dead. The monsters didn't even kill Randall. They just tortured Randall and then put his body on top of the doggone ambulance outside the plantation house and left him there. Randall not even dead. I can't handle this. These people, these monsters are absolutely insane. These monsters are insane. Cause why they leave Randall like that? Oh yeah, because I forgot. Pregnant lady not only is eating rotten crops now, she's also eating the blood, like digging her fingers in the bullet wound of the dead lady and eating the blood. Yeah, I forgot that part. The lady is not having a human at all. I don't know what she's having. I don't even think it's a demon no more at this point. Cause girl, what? Girl, what?
Thank you for watching. Again, those are voice memos that I recorded while watching the show, and I sent them to my sister. If you liked watching the video, then tune into the next video for episodes 5 through 8. Please leave a comment of another show that you would like for me to watch and give my commentary on, or tell the show episode by episode like I did with from season 3. Don't worry. Every single time I tell my sister about anything I watch, it goes exactly like this. Most of the time I don't give people actual names. I talk about them based off description. Yeah. So if you like that, let me know if you want more. Bye.